The 13th Hour. Every night at 12:59 a.m., the world stops. Rain freezes mid-air, clocks hold their breath, and silence spreads across the city like frost. For exactly 1 hour, time no longer moves. No one notices. No one except Aria. She calls it the 13th hour, a secret slice of time that belongs only to her. It started on her 16th birthday. The clock struck 12:59, and suddenly everything stopped. The streetlights froze, music halted, even the raindrops hung mid-fall. Only Aria could move. Only she could breathe. At first, she was terrified, but curiosity soon won. She wandered through the sleeping city, read strangers' texts, stood on rooftops, watched frozen smiles on lovers' faces. It was peaceful, lonely, but peaceful. A world without noise, without judgment. A world where she finally felt free. Over time, Aria learned the rules. The 13th hour always began at 12:59, ending precisely when the clock turned 1 a.m. She couldn't change anything. Water stayed still, fire froze, even phone screens wouldn't light up. But she could walk, think, dream. So she made it her secret ritual. Every night, she'd sit by the frozen fountain in the city square and draw in her sketchbook. Pictures of people she'd never meet, dreams she'd never say out loud. She started to feel like time itself was her friend. Until one night, something changed. As Aria stepped into the 13th hour, she heard footsteps. At first she thought she was imagining it. No one else had ever moved before. But then, through the still fog, she saw him. A boy about her age, walking down the silent street, eyes wide open with the same confusion she once felt. He stopped when he saw her. "You can move?" he asked. Aria's heart skipped. "You too?" They stood in awe, surrounded by a frozen world that only they could walk through. His name was Kai. He'd discovered the 13th hour just a week ago, and like her, he thought he was alone. Together, they explored the city's frozen moments, writing invisible words on walls, dancing in the motionless rain, tracing stars that wouldn't fall. For the first time, Aria felt that time didn't just belong to her, it belonged to them. But as the nights passed, the 13th hour began to change. The silence grew heavy, the air colder. And sometimes when the hour ended, Aria noticed her clock ticked slower than before. One night, Kai confessed. He'd met others, people who once had the gift, but lost it. "Time doesn't give," he said softly. "It trades." Aria frowned. "Trades what?" He looked away. "Our hours. For theirs." Her breath caught. Are you saying we're borrowing time from someone else?" Before he could answer, the sky above them cracked, and for the first time, time inside the 13th hour began to move. The frozen rain fell again. The streetlights flickered back to life, and in the chaos, Kai whispered, "It's choosing." Then he vanished. The next night, Aria waited. When 12:59 came, she felt the familiar stillness. But Kai never appeared. Only silence, and her reflection in the frozen fountain. She reached into her pocket and found a note in Kai's handwriting. Time gave me one last choice, to leave you an hour or to leave you alone. I chose the hour. Use it well. Aria smiled through tears. That night, she didn't explore the city. She sat by the fountain, sketchbook open, and began to draw. Not frozen people, but moving moments. Birds flying, rain falling, two figures laughing beneath a broken clock. When the clock struck 1 a.m., her sketchbook glowed softly, and for a brief second, the world smiled. Time doesn't always move forward. Sometimes it stops to remind you to feel. The 13th hour isn't about stealing time. It's about learning what to do with the moments you already have. Every second matters, but the ones you spend feeling alive, those are eternal.